Okay, so today we're going to talk about dividing polynomials. I'm going to show you how to do synthetic division. We're also going to review long division. Not my favorite, but I'm just going to do a problem reviewing that with you. And then I'm going to teach you synthetic division. So in long division, we set it up just like we would set up a problem when you were learning long division. So 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 18x minus 8. And notice that my polynomials are in descending order without skipping a degree. So 3, 2, 1, and 0. And then x minus 4. So what I want to do is I want to look at my first number. What do I multiply this by to give me 2x cubed? Well, I multiply that by 2x squared. Then I take my 2x squared and multiply everything in the binomial by that 2x squared. So I'm going to get 2x cubed minus 8x squared. Okay. And then I subtract those two polynomials. So 2x squared minus 3x squared is 0. Negative 3x squared minus a negative 8x squared is the same as negative 3x squared plus 8x squared. So it gives me 5x squared minus, and then I'm going to bring down the 18, just like you did in long division. So now what do I multiply x by to give me 5x squared? Well, I would multiply that by 5. I'm going to multiply by, 5x. Take that 5x, multiply it by the binomial so that I get 5x squared minus 20. Again, I'm going to subtract, so the 5x squareds cancel out. Negative 18 minus negative 20x is 2x. Don't know why I'm dropping numbers today. And then minus 8. So what do I multiply x by to give me 2x? Well, that would just be 2. So if I multiply the x minus 4 by 2, I get 2x minus 8. And if I subtract those, I get a remainder of 0. So my answer to this division problem is 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Right. So we have a theorem that says when there is no remainder, the divisor is a factor of that polynomial, meaning we can multiply those two together and we can get the original back. So I personally like synthetic division. Now, I wasn't a big fan of it because in high school, but then I went to grad school and it became so much quicker, and I don't know why. Maybe because when I was in the day, they drilled long division into us. But with synthetic division, what we're looking for is we're looking for a 0 of this. Okay, so we're going to divide by the 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. So x equals 2. So when we set it up so there's a 2 here on the outside. And then we take all of the coefficients, making sure that they're in descending order and we're not skipping any. 3, 2, 1, and 0. So 1, negative 4, 6, negative 4. What you do is you bring down this first number and you multiply. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then you add. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. You multiply again. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. You add 6 and negative 4, and that gives you 2. 2 times 2 is 4. You add, and that gives you 0. This is always your remainder. Okay. And here we started with x cubed, so when we divide x cubed by x, that gives us x squared. So these are the coefficients starting with x squared. So 1x squared minus 2x plus 2. Okay, that is a factor because there is no remainder. Now this time when I set up this long division, I've got my r plus 2 equals 0, so my 0 is negative 2. But notice I've got a degree of 4, I've got a degree of 3, 2, and then this has a degree of 0, so I'm missing the degree of 1. So 0r to the first would give me 0, so I'm going to substitute 0 and put it right in here. So I've got 1, negative 5, negative 14, 0, and then negative 4. Okay. So if I have a power of 4, I should have 5 numbers here. Okay. If I've got a degree of 3, I should have 4 coefficients that I've written down. So if I bring down the 1, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. I'm sorry, bring down the 1, jumping the gun, and negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. If I add, I get 7 negative. Multiply negative 2 times negative 7, I get negative 14, positive 14. If I add that, I get 0. Okay. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. And when I add that, I get 0. Negative 2 times 0, again, is 0. And when I add, I get negative 4. So I started with the 4th power, so I'm going to take it down a degree. So x cubed minus 7x squared. Then I don't have an r or a constant, but I have this remainder, and I'm going to write it as minus 4, and then over the divisor, r plus 2. So this is my solution. Okay. We also have the remainder theorem, and it says if you divide a polynomial by x minus a, then the remainder is p of a. So what does that mean? So if I want to find p of 2, I'm just going to use synthetic division. Okay, so I've got 2 using my coefficients, 1, 4, negative 8, negative 6. I have a degree of 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. If I bring down the 2, or bring down the 1, 2 times 1 is 2. If I add, I get 6. 2 times 6 is 12. If I add, I get 4. 2 times 4 is 8. And that gives me 2 as a remainder. So according to this, p of 2 is 2. So now we could double check if we wanted to. 2 cubed plus 4 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 minus 6. So 8, 2 squared is 4, times 4 is 16. Negative 8 times 2 minus 16, and then minus 6. So those cancel, and 8 minus 6 is indeed 2. So this is just a nice little, neat little fact. I kind of think that was quicker. It just depends what you want to do. All right, so today we looked at synthetic division. We looked at a couple examples. We looked at the remainder theorem, and we also looked at long division, which is not my favorite. So have a math-tastic day.